Welcome to Commander's Comments. I'm your producer for the evening, Harrison, and I'm joined here today by our Commander-in-Chief Jason Boshers and our Chief of Heritage Operations, Mr. Ron Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy, take it away.
Thank you, Moose. We appreciate it. And thank you, Commander Brochures, for again taking the time out of your busy day. I know you've been busy all day doing SCV stuff, but guess what? The Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief and the Heritage Operations, we've been as busy, but not as busy as you. That's why I don't want to ever be CIC. Not that I could win anyway. But I do thank you. And this is the second one of 2023. High time flies when we're having fun. We've got a full agenda, folks, and I want to turn this over to the commander and let him start talking about stuff that's going on, because we don't have enough time to tell you about everything that's going on. Commander.
Well, first of all, Mr. Kennedy, Chief of Heritage Operations, first thing I want to do is I want to thank you for your patience. We were supposed to have done this. We're scheduled to do it on the first Thursday. I had a Lee Jackson. In fact, I had 10 Lee Jacksons this past January and February. And I visited everywhere from North Carolina twice, Florida twice, Alabama, just several places here in Tennessee. I just want to thank everybody who went through the heartache and the trouble of putting on an event like that. And there were some absolutely fantastic ones. I enjoyed myself. The hospitality was wonderful. And the food was good and there was plenty of it. And I just want to thank everybody. And I want to thank everybody for their hospitality during the last month and a half with these Lee Jacksons. Mr. Kennedy, would you like to say something about some of y'all's or some of the things that y'all did?
No, we'll talk about that when we get on our Confederate Legion update. I'll drag Donald in. We'll talk about it. But we did enjoy having you at the Allen camp in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The folks in Baton Rouge, they probably don't even know it now, but I used to be the commander of that camp years ago, back in when the first edition of the South Was Right came out, and they looked at it and said, the federal government's going to put you boys in jail if you publish that. It's been a long time, but it was great having you in Baton Rouge, and hope you didn't leave hungry.
Oh, the place was fantastic. The food was wonderful. I had an absolutely great time, and I want to thank you for everything. It was thank the Allen camp. I want to thank everybody. It was a great time, but that's the reason why we didn't have it on the first Thursday. Right now, we're going to try to get back on the path of having it on the first Thursday. If we want to, I'm just going to go ahead and dive in, and there's a whole lot of business we have to take care of, and some of this stuff's going to go really fast. Some of it, you're probably going to come back and rewatch this, not to brag on it, but to catch up on everything that we're doing. One of the things I want to remind everybody is the Sons of Confederate Veterans, the General Executive Council of the Sons of Confederate Veterans voted to initiate a lawsuit concerning the Reconciliation Monument in Arlington Cemetery. Although I cannot give you any more details on that, know that been talking with attorneys. Plan has already been laid out on how we're going to proceed. There's already contact being made with people and already being talked. People are being talked, and I can't really go into more detail than that because, well, we haven't filed yet, and we can't let everybody know what we're doing. But we want you to know that we are in this lawsuit, and we're in it to win it. And, this is one of those things that people have said, well, what are we going to do about them removing our monuments? Well, I'll go ahead and I'm going to jump on and run a real quick rabbit right here. If any of you have kept up with what's going on in Cornelius, North Carolina, we will give you a quick reason on why we have to fight these things the way we do. There is a monument, and if I read the article correctly, and I reread it, and I read it on a couple of different sites to be sure, the monument is in private hands, it is on private property, and members of the community are petitioning the city to get it and destroy it. And it is a private monument on private property. And we know about it. I've already been contacted by several people. I have read several articles about it. Now, the city has already said they don't have the right to do it. You know, we all know the legalities that are involved in that. But just know this, when the Kennedys were telling us 10 years ago that they just said, oh, they just want to take them down and they want to put them in a cemetery. And all we want to do is take them off public grounds like courthouses. As you know now, that is not the case. Even though it is private, the monument is privately owned and it's on private property, they want to get rid of it. Okay, now we have something that is as critical. All of them are critical, but we have to say that, or I have to say this, the Reconciliation Monument in Arlington is a very sensitive and a very hot button for me, and as well as so many people, because when this came up, there were people that were hollering about this right away. But we are, and that we being the National Sons of Confederate Veterans, have entered into, we didn't enter into it. We initiated, we are initiating a lawsuit concerning the monument. As things proceed and as we can tell you more, we can't tell you more because right now we don't want anybody to know what we're doing. You know, that was what happened during the war. That's the reason why sometimes battles were lost, because loose lips sink ships. But we do need to let you know that we're doing this, but we also want to let you know that when you say, okay, this is something I can get behind, go to the donation page, go to scv.org and go to the donations page. And when you go to the donations page, click on that. If you want to go to Heritage Operations, you want to take care of that, you can donate it. You can donate to that to do these lawsuits. So I just wanted to give everybody and still remind everybody that we are going to, that we are in this lawsuit. Conversations are already happening. There's several things that's already going on behind the scenes, and just watch out for more information later.
And use that PayPal donation to go to the Heritage Defense Fund and Legal Defense Fund to help finance this. Like everything else, it costs money to do this.
Oh yes, and it's not going to be cheap, but it's one of those things that we are going to have to do. I also want to touch up on something that was in the last Confederate Veteran magazine, and I want to talk to everybody about your Confederate veteran. There's a whole lot of work that goes into this, and these things, there's a lot of work, and these things cost a lot of money to produce and to get out to everybody. Because if we have 30,000 members, there's 30,000 of these going out every 2 months. So, you know, people contact me all the time, and they don't know what's going on. Okay. Well, have you read your Confederate Veteran magazine? Have you read your Confederate Veteran magazine? Because most of the time it's in your Confederate Veteran. I know you might not want to read my article, but I would think anybody would want to read a Kennedy article. You know, that's just, everybody ought to. But, you know, pay attention to your Confederate Veteran magazine. There's some wonderful things that's in it. And one of the things that is in there is talking about Forrest's last ride. And Moose, do you have time to pull that up? It is in there. As you know, this is it. This is what we're calling it. As you know, we reinterred Nathan Bedford Forrest and his wife. We're going to, the General Executive Council voted to put the entire plaza back, just exactly like it was originally originally intended by Charles Henry Niehaus and the son of Nathan Bedford Forrest. Charles Henry Niehaus worked with the son of Nathan Bedford Forrest in this design. So it was important to put it back because Forrest's boy said, yes, this is what I like. His son agreed to this. So we want to put it all back the way that it was. Well, this isn't going to be one of those things. It's not cheap either. Now, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and jump out in front of this before anybody ever starts. We're not going to build this till we have the money.
Exactly.
We're not going into debt. We're not going to build this until we get every dime. And if it takes us 5 years to raise the money, it takes us 5 years to raise the money. Now, as you know how everything goes up right now, they're estimating the cost at $150,000. 5 years from now, it might be $250,000 to put this thing together, or $300,000. But the original plaza was 50 feet deep and 75 feet wide. And we're going to put it back just like it was originally. But this cannot be done unless you donate. Now, people always say you're all the time asking for money. People have told me I'm going to give to the museum. There's people have told me I'm not going to give money to the museum. I'm going to give money to something else. The Sons of Confederate Veterans, you have every opportunity to do all the different things that you want to do within this organization. This is only our organization I know of that you can do any of it. If you want to clean tombstones, you can do that. If you want to be a speaker and you want to write books, you want to do documentation, you can do that. If you want to, we need attorneys, we need tax accountants, we need all of these things. So we're an organization that you can do anything that you need to. And if you wanted to contribute to the fight in Arlington, then that's one way. If you think, you know what, I don't this month I want to give something to Forrest, and you can. But also remember that you can go out there and you go into the donation page under scv.org, and you go into that and you can set up a monthly donation. And there is no donation that's too small. If you give $5 a month, beautiful, wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're doing exactly what you should to protect your heritage and to educate people. If you want to give it to the museum, Lord knows the museum needs it. We need the acquisitions fund. There's other things that we need. But I wanted, and we'll get into some of that a little later. Right now, I just wanted to touch to everybody, talk to everybody concerning Forrest's Last Ride. It's out there. If you want to contribute to it, nothing's going to happen until we have all the money raised. And so I expect our target to change the longer we go. But right now, $150,000.
My small camp, and this is something we all can do. The little camp I have here in Covington, Louisiana, we've got probably less than 30 members, and most of us are retired folks. A couple of people got real jobs in it, but we have pledged $1,000 from this little small camp for that. And we've already raised. We're pushing close to 500. We're gonna raise the money. We're gonna make our 1,000, and we're gonna send it in. And my point is that if these good men here in Covington can do that and pledge themselves to doing it, then every other camp can as well. And if you don't want to do the forest, you might want to do the museum or something. But we really can if we'll get behind this and really work. And again, you can give $5 a month. That's $60 a year, but you'll never notice the fact that you gave that. Mm-hmm. And if 1,000 people does that, think about what it's coming into. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you 100%. What I'm doing with my camp is I've got 3 cigar boxes, and I put this on Facebook, and I put it out there. I took 3 cigar boxes and I labeled them. And I labeled them the museum. I labeled them the museum, the acquisitions fund, and Forrest's Last Ride. And I'm just letting guys contribute whatever they want to it. I'm just going to take them to the meeting. And if a guy wants to throw a $20 bill on the Forrest's Last Ride, he can. If somebody wants to come in with 5 Lincolns or 3 Lincolns and spread them out, he can do that as well. The thing is, there is an opportunity depending on what you wish to do. Mr. Kennedy, what would you like to talk about next?
Well, since I see it's number 3, I was going to save mine for last, but I'll let you catch your breath. Moose, if you'll put up the first one that I sent to you about the getting onto the forums page of the there we go. Now, thanks to hard work on all parties, we've got our new forms and all book and process ready. So I'm talking about the only form that's really important to me is the Heritage Defense Nomination Award. And I just want to let everybody know, because we're not going to have a Confederate Legion update in time. We need to get these in. All you need to do is go to sev.org/forums. You see it up there, and Moose is going to post this. I wish we could hot link it for you. That'll take you to the SCV, standard scv.org web page. It'll take you to the page that's got a list of all the forms for the various awards, and they're in alphabetical order. So if you'll come down the A's, you'll see probably just about the last one in the A's, award form, Heritage Defense National Award, and I put that in dark bold down below it, but it'll show up in the light gray. But click on that, and that'll take you to the form that you need to fill out. Now, the next page, Moose. All right. Then you see the Heritage Defense Medal. You see the purpose. You see the name. Now the numbering, the formatting of the word product when we put it into for the chat for this meeting, it's sort of messed up, but it's clear and straight. But you'll see there's real simple, easy. And you need to have the camp commander can appoint anyone that he would like to get this award. The camp commander should then send that to the division commander. The division commander will look at it, okay it, and send it in to and it's in there where he sends it to. It goes to me, and then we'll have a committee that'll pass on it. We'll have everything ready for the convention to hand out these certificates and medals. And I go to the next page so you can see. Here you see it's a real nice certificate. It's a beautiful medal. And also, if it's your second year, you've got the medal at last year and you got another award, you get a 3/16-inch star to go with the medal. So you can end up with a medal with a bunch of stars on it if you get enough nominations for a Heritage Award. So I'd like for everyone to read through that. It tells you what to do with it, how to do it, and it's got the hot links in there that you can email your information to me at Confederate Legion at Reagan.com. And that's it for that. And also at the very bottom, you'll see the SCV/forums hot link. And if you go to the website, the SCV website now, you'll see the hot link and you can click right on it if you need to. All right. Thank you, Moose. And thank you, Commander, for letting me go over that right quick. I'd also like to talk a little bit about the upcoming Confederate Legion web page. And we've been working, and I want to thank Commander Boshers he's been helping us get stuff to our webmaster to get things done. And it looks like we're going to have be able to do the beta testing sometime next week, I hope, on the website. Yeah. Now, let me say, the old website, Make Dixie Great Again, it will eventually go away. Okay, and again, we've got to, I'm not going to take up a lot of time, but this was Ray Shores with Victory Flags and More, did a great job for us. He volunteered, took up a lot of his time, a lot of his people that he had working for him in his business that was actually doing SCV work. And the point is that, that's been going on since Paul Gremlin, Commander Gremlin, and then also our last Commander-in-Chief, Larry. So we've got to get it into the headquarters where we have control of it, because people like the Kennedys aren't going to be around forever. So someone's got to be at headquarters running the show. But I do want to thank Ray Shore and his crew for the fine work they've done. Make Dixie Great Again is going to stay up, hopefully, till we get the Confederate Legion website up and running within a couple of weeks, I hope.
Yes, sir. And I agree with you. I've talked with Dean Stevens a time or two. And Dean is the one who does a lot of our IT stuff. And he's going to have the website ready to go. He said Sunday. So we'll be starting to test. I'll look for this thing to go live next week. Once we make sure we have all the kinks worked out, make sure we've got the bugs worked out, and links go to where they're supposed to, and we don't have dead links going nowhere. And, but once we get all that worked out, we will. I also want to thank the Kennedys for what they have done with this Confederate Legion. There is a purpose to the Confederate Legion. And the purpose of the Confederate Legion, there wasn't one purpose. If I remember right, there were like 5, 6, 7, 8 purposes to the Confederate Legion. And one of them was for us to promote ourselves. Another one for us was to educate ourselves. Another one was to educate the public about us and to keep us from being the best kept secret that is out there. And I just want to thank the Kennedys for the work that they have done in this. And this is something that has been very much on their minds, and they have worked very hard on. And I want to thank them for the effort they have put into this. This was something they worked on daily. If it wasn't one of them, it was the other one, or it was both of them. And I want to thank y'all.
Well, no thanks needed, because we did it same reason you do it, out of a sense of love for the Confederation. But I've got to recognize past Commander-in-Chief Larry McClooney and past Commander-in-Chief Paul Gremlin, whose idea it was and impetus got started. So it's not a Kennedy operation. It's a Sons of a Confederate Veterans operation.
Oh, very much so. You brought it up. We got it started. We got it going. And y'all were the wheels behind it for so long, and I thank you for it. Yes, and I just see where Chuck McMichael, past Commander-in-Chief Chuck McMichael, popped on and said, join the Confederate Legion. You're going to be able to rejoin the Confederate Legion from that website.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
All right, number 4 is upcoming events. Let's keep us going.
Yes, sir. All right. Do you want to talk about what's coming up next weekend, sir?
I want you to, well, I'll say that everything I talked to the folks down in Tampa, and everything is ready to go down there. We've got we're past 50 people that have signed up for it, and we're looking to make a pretty good showing. Even the fact that we've had a lot of things like hurricanes and Arlington and sickness and death in families. We've had a lot of things this year to really give us a hard time, but I think now we've got it straightened out, and they have worked super hard to get it going. And so we're looking forward to it. I can't wait to be there. I will say that there's several people, authors, that'll be there with their books to sell and to autograph. The Kennedy twins will be there with our books, but I want everyone to understand the books that we sell, the profit goes to the museum, because we're selling from the museum's table, not the Kennedy twins table. And books that we bring, the museum will pay the wholesale price, whatever it costs us, and the profit goes to the museum. The other authors, well, that's their business.
Yeah. And of course, we're talking about the Stephen D. Lee Institute. It's going to be in Tampa. It's going to be next weekend, February 24th and 25th. Starts Friday evening, finishes up on Saturday night. This is an opportunity for you to educate yourself. There's going to be a panel. You're going to be asking, they'll be asking a lot of questions about monuments and everything that we've gone, everything that this nation has gone through as far as monument removal. And these gentlemen have fought these fights. So that is going to be the Stephen D. Lee Institute next weekend in Tampa. Now, I like to talk about Stone Mountain. I have talked with Georgia Division Commander Tim Pilgrim. Right now, we're on a go for Stone Mountain. It is going to be April 29th. I'd like to make this a national event. You're going to see stuff about it in the Confederate Veteran. You're going to see stuff pushed out about it here. Everybody, Stone Mountain. I think probably the physically largest monument to the Confederates out there. So, Stone Mountain, April 29th. Posted something out there earlier on Facebook, and that is about the museum being open one Saturday a month, and I posted the dates. Moose, is there any way you could pull that up? It is going to start. These are the upcoming dates that it will be open. First weekend in March, we're having our GEC meeting, so we might as well have everything open. April 15th is Confederate History Month. If you can't do anything else, just come on out and visit the museum. May 6th, we're going to be having our pilgrimage and homecoming. There'll be a little bit of, well, I'll go ahead and start talking about that while we're here. Mm-hmm. I have put a flyer out there. I can't remember if I put it out. I created it. I can't remember. Yep, I did put it out there. And look at who our speakers are going to be. The Kennedy twins. Now, they haven't decided which Kennedy is going to do the talking. And to tell you the truth, I'm not going to get into that discussion. But one of them volunteered the other one. So I'm going to let the Kennedy twins to decide who's going to be the speaker. The ground's going to open up at 9 o'clock that morning. It's going to stay open to 4 that afternoon. This is our third one. The first one we did, the speaker was a lady that was Tennessee Division UDC president. And that's when we had at Jeff Davis's statue. Last year, we had it at the grave of Nathan Bedford Forrest, and Children of the Confederacy were the keynote. Well, now we're going to have SCV as the keynote speaker there. That is, the service is going to be at 11. And you can see who our keynote speaker is going to be. There's going to be the Strings of Secession is a band that just named themselves that today. I reached out and I said, you said you wanted to play. They would like to play. What name? And this is what he texts back. Is Strings of Succession, and I am thrilled for that. Now, this is going to be, you're going to be able to show up, bring you a floral tribute. If you want to bring a live plant, you can. If you want to bring a tree and for us to plant it, you can. You can bring it. There'll be a little piece of paper you fill out. We'll read your name out, whatever you put down yourself, your camp, your UDC chapter, doesn't matter to us. And then we'll call it out, and you can come and you can lay your floral arrangement. And we're going to do it this year at the statue of Robert E. Lee. Excuse me. I've had Stephen D. Lee on my mind. Forgive me for that.
Thank you.
Forgive me for that. But that's coming up. Everybody keep that in your mind. July 29th, we're going to be having the Rebel Rouser Cruise in. Now, do you want to pop that date back up of the events of the Saturdays that we're going to be open? You want to pop that up, Moose? You can see that June 3rd, we're going to be open. July 29th is the Rebel Rouser Cruise in. We had a fantastic car show last year, had a great turnout. Going to do it again this year. August 19th, and we're going to be open during the day. And then we're going to have a night at the museum from 5 to 8 p.m. And this is where the characters and people and things are going to come to life in the museum, and people will be giving talks about different things. So this is going to be something. If you want to come and see the museum at night, see the grounds at night, come on out and see us. There'll be a $10 admission just for the night at the museum. September 29th, October 7th is also a GEC meeting. November 11th, and if you are a veteran, that is Veterans Day. You'll be admitted free. And also the first weekend in December is always the Christmas home tour, and Elm Springs is going to be on that. I want to thank the staff at HQ. They are the ones that are willing to adjust their schedules so we can be open one Saturday a month. Now, that does not mean that there aren't going to be others. There might be a time that somebody says, hey, I can be open. I can be available this Saturday. So we might be open 2 Saturdays. But when we get that, we're going to let you know plenty ahead of time. And I want to thank everybody at HQ for making that happen. Something else I want to talk about. Do you mind pulling that up, Moose, about the cadet program?
Well, I'll tell you what, okay.
No, go ahead, sir.
Well, I was just going to say, we're getting at the 30-minute mark. Let's do a quick Pop-Tart break and then come back and pick up with the cadet program. But also, you might want to mention the fact that you've got some ideas of maybe some concerts there at the
Yes.
on the ground. So you're working on that. Nothing definite yet.
No, sir, we haven't set the dates, but we're thinking 4 to 5 concerts during the summer.
Okay.
And if that's the case, we're going to try to coordinate them with the Saturdays that we were already open. That way we can go ahead and have people,
Right.
just makes sense.
That's great. All right, Moose, let's take a Pop-Tart break so I can get something to drink. I didn't bring any bourbon and water with me.
Well, tonight's Pop-Tart break is brought to us by a group of historians that have knocked it out of the park yet again. Tonight's Pop-Tart break is, of course, sponsored by Jefferson Davis, High Road to Emancipation and Constitutional Government. The latest book from the world-famous Kennedy twins. The High Road to Emancipation and Constitutional Government is about Jefferson Davis, who was a leader of the High Road to Emancipation. He looked for a day in which slaves would be prepared to live and participate in society. He did more than advance the high road to emancipation. He practiced his belief in the ultimate emancipation of Southern slaves. Many of his former slaves left for prosperity, and their testimony about their former master prepared them for freedom and a self-sustaining way of life in society. It's going to be a great book. I cannot wait to do a book review on it. Link down below. You can get it at, of course, www.kennedystwins.com or online bookstores. Just type in Jefferson Davis High Road to Emancipation and Constitutional Government. We'll be right back after this Pop-Tart break.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
All right. Thank you for that Pop-Tart break. Now, let me clear up one thing. I usually don't drink bourbon while I'm doing these. It may sound like it, but I honestly don't. Commander, you were talking about the cadet program, and Moose, if you can find that flyer on the cadets.
Yes.
Commander.
Come on. This is our lifeblood. Our cadet program, it's sign up your kid. I mean, all of us know about so much about it. Brian Turner contacted me about doing something at the national reunion and start having a cadet, get them very much involved. After talking with Brian, he hasn't had a good response. And it occurred to me that maybe some people might not be reading their Confederate Veteran magazine and know that it's there, and it is. It is on the inside of your Confederate Veteran magazine. Now, I realize that when everybody gets their Confederate Veteran magazine, what's the first thing they go to? They go to there to see if their picture's in there. So this was right before that, so it probably keeps getting overlooked. This is going to be the lifeblood of our organization. In case you hadn't figured it out, I hate to drop this bomb on you, but our school system has failed us. And
I'm shocked.
Yes, sir. I was too when I come to that realization. And they're not teaching American history, period. And it's going to be left up to us to teach not just our national history, but our local history as well. And local history is extremely critical. So, study your local history as well. But the cadet program, and we have cadets in Tennessee. We don't have them like we should. If you are interested in doing this, it's going to be at the National Reunion. Get your Confederate Veteran magazine. Get it. And you'll know who to contact and tell them that you want to be part of this cadet program. It is also in there. Contact them, let them know. If there's no response and we don't have any cadets show up, how are we going to have a cadet program? And if your grandson is out there, sign him up, because you're going to be the one that's going to have to teach him his history. He's not going to learn it anywhere else. So sign him up and get him involved. And I just wanted to touch on that because that is the lifeblood of our organization, because Mr. Kennedy has already said that the Kennedys are not going to be around for forever.
That's right.
Well, neither am I. And it's going to be up to people like Moose and the generations that come after him to keep going what we have gotten going, what our ancestors got going. Yes. Push your cadet program. And if you're going to bring your this is a perfect opportunity to sign your grandson up and bring him to a national reunion and be part of the cadet program. And I want to thank Brian Turner and the ones that have stepped up saying they want to do this. I think it's a fantastic thing. I'm 100% behind it. Are you? Do you want your history to continue? If you do, this is what you're going to have to do. I'm going to move on along. I sent out something on the Telegraph a few days ago, and we were talking about some events that were going to be coming up. And one of them is the first weekend in March. I believe it's March 4th. It is March 4th. I know that. March 4th, about being Confederate Flag Day. So if you are having an event, promote it. I'm going to just jump through a few of these things here. Okay. We're going to have that in March. April is going to be Confederate History Month. May is going to be Military Appreciation Month. June is going to be Law Enforcement Appreciation Month. And you're going to know all of this ahead of time because we're going to have to start tooting our own horn. We need to get out there, and this is something that our ancestors did. They took care of the people that were around them when they could. And this is something that our organization should strive to do, is to help those. And I know in Mississippi and all these other states that have programs where they raise money to send kids to camp and send kids to school. And this is a wonderful thing. Nobody knows about it but us. And I want people to plan something, and I want people to plan something, camps to plan something, brigades, divisions, plan something. And March, April, May, and June, plan it. Get it out there ahead of time. Let people know what's going to go on. Get it promoted, have the event, and do a fantastic event. And then take pictures of it, document it, and get the word out to everybody and toot your own horn. I heard one of the Kennedys say one time, if you don't toot your own horn, sometimes it goes untooted. Am I correct?
That's right. And listen, your Confederate Legion, we keep pushing you when you do these events. If you go out and clean tombstones, and Lord knows I've cleaned my share of them, get pictures of them, put it on your social media, but don't email them to every elected official in your area. So this is what don't write a treatise and say, don't write, just say, we're protecting and cleaning monuments. And if you can find an old monument of a World War I veteran or in World War II that has gone, that needs to be cleaned up, get the family's permission if they are available. Clean that up, get that picture out to them. We are a veterans organization. You want to get that out to all of your agents of influence in your community. And it doesn't cost anything to attach that document to an email and send it to them. But I tell you what, put it in the snail mail and send it as a letter. Really, you'll get their attention, and you just got to do these things and keep doing it to let them know who we are and what we're doing, and also send it to your politicians. They need to know we are an activist group. Otherwise, they just going to continue to walk right over us.
And you're correct. We need to let everybody know that we're out there doing this. And you're talking about sending it to your politicians. Please send it to HQ. You know, send it to membership at SCV.org, or send it to the executive director, EXEDIR at scv.org. Send it to them. Let us have an accounting of it. Let National have an accounting of it. So if anybody comes back and says, well, your organization does not do anything nationally, well, what's it going to show when we haul off and we go, okay, here's 16 states that our members have done stuff in, okay? And this is documented. So, you know, when the politicians come, when people just want to come, I mean, sometimes people don't want to come, they just want to find out about our organization. They don't know about us. And what if you go, okay, you know, we're having a national reunion in Hot Springs this coming year. And let's just say that somebody, well, I didn't know they even had a camp in Hot Springs. What if they were at the national reunion and we could pull them up and say, okay, this is what these camps around Hot Springs and in Arkansas are doing. You know, it needs to be out there, and we need to document. We say we like to document history. Well, guess what? That's part of your history. That's part of your camp's history. A lot of camps have historians, and this gives the camp historian something to put back. So when somebody looks at it 10 years from now, they can go, oh, this is what they did. So you're documenting your own history as well. I didn't mean to jump on a soapbox about that, but I know that we have a tendency to not promote ourselves. I'm guilty of it too. Okay. All of us are. We were always taught you do the job, but you don't go around, you don't do the job to get the pat on the back. You do the job because the job needs to be done. But there comes a time you're going to have to say, we did that. That was us. And that's where we are with this. Didn't mean to get preachy. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, a lot, but we're pushing 45 minutes in. We still got half the list to go, so I won't pontificate. Other than saying we're also the Confederate Legion and the GEC. We're also looking at doing national advertisements. So we've got a lot to talk about on that. But that's sort of like the lawsuit. It's not signed, sealed, and delivered yet, and we're not going to give our enemies any ammunition. We're going to wait and let them get blindsided by it. So, but we are moving. We are doing things. What about June? What's going on? Is that Law Enforcement Appreciation Month?
Yes, sir. June's going to be Law Enforcement Appreciation Month.
Good.
And May is going to be Military Appreciation Month. Come on out there, guys. Let's show our love and respect for our military and for our law enforcement. They need our support, and we need to be there to support them. And we need to know, plan something, guys.
In May, in May of Military Appreciation Month, we have a great video that's going to be, well, it's a video. It's a good video. Not, I won't say great because the Kennedys are in it, but it's a video on honoring American veterans. And so you want to make sure that you take a look at that. You can post that in your on all your social media. We also have 60-second, really there's 55-second radio ads that you'll be able to purchase and play in your local community. This is very, very important. So take the opportunity.
Yeah, very, very agreed. Very much. Okay, I'm going to talk about a very important cog in our wheel, and that is the National Confederate Museum. This is our spine for getting the information out and to be able to educate people. All they have to do is come there. I'll see people in every time I go to the museum. There's going to be somebody in there, and they're going to go panel by panel, reading, studying. They take pictures. You can see that they Google stuff. I have seen go, well, I didn't know that. I have, because the place is kind of big and it echoes, and you'll go, oh my goodness, I did not know that. And I'm going, we're educating people. We're going to be open on some of these Saturdays, and this is something that the people have asked, wanted. When we're going to be open on a Saturday, come and attend these Saturdays. It's going to be one of those things that if we do this through the rest of the year and nobody shows up on Saturday, you asked for it, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. But if people don't show up and support this, are we going to keep asking our staff to adjust their own personal schedules to where somebody can be there on a Saturday? We have all of these events. Come out and attend these events. I just read through what we're going to be doing all year. We're working the museum. We're trying to get people there at the museum. If you don't, just look at the schedule of events. So we are really trying to make this happen and to get people inside our museum so we have an opportunity to educate them. The gift shop. And I'm going to this. Jill is the new person that is over the gift shop. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask it of Mr. Kennedy. Your new books, are they for sale? Is it for sale in the gift shop?
Well, since I haven't been there, I don't know, but I was told that yes, absolutely. The new book on third edition of The South Was Right, as well as several other of our books, but especially I want to get the Punished with Poverty, which talks about Reconstruction, and the Jefferson Davis book. That's the one we got that wonderful statue of Jefferson Davis out front. Let's promote Jefferson Davis and the truth about who he was, the fine Southern gentleman he truly was.
Yeah. And thank you for that. You want a Kennedy Twins book? You can go to the Kennedy Twins website, or you can support the gift shop. And you can go to the gift shop and buy the book through them. Jill, I was in there 2 days this week, and both days I was in there, they had merchandise in. And she's taking pictures and putting merchandise out there on the website. So go and support what we're trying to do. Well, we're not going to try to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to keep pushing till we make this work. The one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to quit. I don't know how. I don't want to. I don't want to do anything that's, I'm not going to quit this organization, but I also don't want to do anything for y'all to have to throw me out. But I'm going to keep on doing this because we need to grow this. So support the museum. And some of the artifacts that we have had to come in are, we had one that Adam Southern and I went and got yesterday. And this is this life-size portrait of Sam Davis. And Moose, do you have any of those pictures where you can pull any of them up? once it's framed in the whole deal, the entire thing, it is 99 inches tall and 64 inches wide. It is a life-size portrait of a Confederate soldier, Sam Davis. I don't know if very many people know the story of Sam Davis, but it is a boyhood hero of the Confederacy. He could have ratted out himself, ratted out his friends, and been given freedom, but instead he got hung because he kept his mouth shut. 21 years old. So this portrait was painted in 1927. And it was painted by a fellow by the name of Cornelius Hankins. And Cornelius Hankins was known for these kind of portraits. He was born in 1863. So he grew up with these men and he painted these kind of pictures. It was in the lobby. There was a hotel, the Sam Davis Hotel, that was in Nashville. And this was in the lobby of the hotel. And the hotel opened in 1927. So this was in the lobby from the beginning. The hotel was demolished in 1985. And that's when they donated this to the Sam Davis Memorial Association, who helps run the Sam Davis home over in Smyrna. And they didn't have a great place to put it because they've already got some of Sam's stuff. They put it on loan to us. So Adam Southern and I went and got this yesterday. So as you can see, we still have things that are coming in. And I just want to thank the Sam Davis Memorial Association for being able to work with us. They have a wonderful home over there. I'm going to encourage people to go to the Sam Davis home. It's in Smyrna. I'm going to encourage people to go through the museum. You'll be able to see Sam's letter that he wrote to his mother. Dear mother, I hate to inform you that I'm going to be hung tomorrow by the Federals, and a mother reading that. But you can go through and you can read that and you can tour the Sam Davis property. One of the things that Adam and I have talked about is us working with all of these other museums. Yep. We need to be working with every one of them. I want to work with Beauvoir. I want to work with the Sam Davis home. I want to work with the Tennessee State Museum. I want to work with the Confederate Museum that's down in New Orleans. If we can get a working relationship with them, I want to work with these museums and these artifacts that they have that we can't get.
That's right.
Can we borrow them? And maybe we have something they want, I hear of museums all the time that say they have stuff put back and it's never going to come out. It might be out on rotation for display 10 years from now, but it's not going to be out. And we need these things coming out. So that's one of the things that we're going to do. And that we're actually working on now, and with the Sam Davis home and their museum working with us. I want to thank the Sam Davis Memorial Association and Jenny Lamb for negotiating that. You mentioned an award earlier, and I'm going to mention an award.
Okay.
There was a new award that the General Executive Council voted on, and it's called the Menninger Award. And it is going to go to the person, camp, brigade, division, army, whichever one, not all of those on each level, but which one raises the most money to cover the debt for the museum. As you know, we still owe on the museum. I know it does not get talked about a lot. That's fixing to change a whole lot, because I have been in discussions with the people that are on the museum fundraising committee. And you're going to start seeing something in every Confederate veteran about that, and with a level that we want to get to, an amount that we want to raise. And we're going to do it just like you're going to raise a battle flag. We're going to start down here. Let's say we want to raise $2 million. We're going to start right here. And then every 2 months, when you get your next veteran, you're going to see the flag start to raise. We want to keep all of this out there for everybody. We want people to know that, yes, we have a debt that has to be fulfilled at the museum. And with this award, and this award was actually suggested by Randy Burbidge, who has been over the awards committee for I don't know, probably since 1896. You know, he's not that old, but he's not old at all. But he has been doing it as long as I can remember, and this was his idea to do this. So raise money, and if you have raised the most money, you will get this award. I was speaking with Randy, and the awards manual is in the process of being updated right now, and it will probably be out there in the next couple of weeks for everybody to go to the SCV website, go to forms and documents, and find a new awards manual. Right now, I'm trying to figure out something I can do that when we go to national reunion, that I can recognize people as an individual, recognize a camp that's raised the most, recognize a division that has raised the most, and an army that has raised the most. This would not be anything that it's just going to be something that maybe I can come up with to do to recognize them. It's not anything that's going to be a national award, but I want them recognized, and I want people to know that these people have done this, and let's get them down there. And one of the things I want to do, if you remember a couple of years ago, people were making the donations. There were checks that were presented. I want to go back to doing that on Saturday. When everybody's there on Saturday, let's get these people recognized. But I wanted to let everybody know that award is going to be out there. And thank y'all for everything you've done. But we have a long way to go. And actually, we're never going to get done. This museum is always going to have to grow, and it's always going to have to continue to grow. We're either going to need artifacts. We're going to have to do work to keep it up. Historic Elm Springs, we're going to have to do work to keep it up. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We lost a very key individual on that. There's a man that has worked at Elm Springs and all these old homes around Columbia and Murray County for a long, long time. And he has done some fantastic work at Elm Springs to help keep it the way it originally is. Originally was, I should say, and his name was Shane Clark. We lost Shane this past Friday, cancer, and I don't know if I was supposed to announce that or not, but that was a heavy hit because Shane was the one that put the Confederate Memorial Hall, the big sign that goes up by the driveway, the Tennessee UDC. Shane was the one that put that together for him, and he did just a fantastic job. It's no telling how many windows he's replaced and how many doors he's shored up and all of these things he's done for us over the years. And to have lost Shane is a real setback for us, and I feel for his family. He was just a little older than me. And I really do feel for his family. I really do. And y'all keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He was a key piece for Elm Springs looking the way that Elm Springs looked. And also, while we're talking about Elm Springs, I'm going to touch on this. We have the Friends of Elm Springs. We have Friends of the Museum. I don't know if you want to pop some of those up, Moose, while I'm talking. With the Friends of Elm Springs and Friends of the Museum, there have been these donations that people have been contributing to this, and it has strictly been going. If you contributed to the Friends of Elm Springs, it went toward maintaining the home. Well, we know appears some documentation that if you come into you come into the front of the house and you've got that big open hallway, the closet that's there on the right behind the door, that was added in the 1950s, maybe the early 1960s by the family that lived there. Well, we want to take that out. We want to put the house back as it originally was. And because these donations have come in, we now have enough money to do that. So we're going to be tearing out that closet. And we hope when we tear the closet out, that we go to find a hint of the original wallpaper. And if we can, we're going to try to get the original wallpaper and re-wallpaper there. And if any of you have been in over the last few years since we took the carpet up, if you come in for the forestry interment or just coming in for the tour, the floors were chewed up a little bit, and to redo the floors. Shane was going to be one of those that was going to help us with that as well. He has played such a critical part in us. So right now, to say that Adam and I are scrambling a little bit, and I could tell it really bothered Adam. I know it bothered me, and it really bothered Adam. But I just want everybody to know that one thing that we're not going to do is if you donate and you donate it for something like this, we're not going to sit there and not use the money. If you donate to this and you say, I want my money to go toward the restoration of Elm Springs, when we get money to do that, that's what we're going to do. That's what you donated the money for. You didn't donate it for us to be setting in an account drawing 0.0004 interest or something like that. You didn't do that. We want to put your money to work, but we want to put it where you want to donate it to, because that's the whole point of all of this, for you to say where you want it to go. I know that we have thrown a whole lot of information at you tonight, a tremendous amount. I know that we're just a couple of minutes past an hour, but at this point in time, I would love to turn this over to my esteemed colleague here, the Chief of Heritage Operations, Ron Kennedy, for him to say anything in the world that he would like to say. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Commander. First of all, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to put this together, to present it to the Confederation. And Moose, I'm sure this will be posted so you can go back, your friends and your neighbors and your fellow camp members that didn't get to listen to the live presentation, you can go back and listen to the recorded at YouTube or on Facebook. And I'm sure that Moose will get that done pronto. I did want to brag that when I sent out my email alert on Constant Contact to people with the Confederate Legion newsletter list, I got a guy from Germany who said, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be 2:00 in the morning here when I'm listening. So I sent back, I said, you don't have to get up at 2:00. You can listen to it on when it's replayed when it's recorded and posted on YouTube. But if he's listening, I just want to salute you from South Louisiana and from Tennessee to Germany. And forgive me if you're in Poland or somewhere else. I did not see exactly. I don't remember, but all I know it's 2:00 there right now. So in the morning. So, and if he's listening, God bless you. I appreciate all of our foreign camps and camp members. We appreciate you and we like hearing from you. With that, I think we're going to turn it back over to Moose to close it down, shut everything down, because we have gone over our time. Thank you very much. I'll look forward to seeing everybody the first Thursday of the next month, which will be a couple of weeks. We probably won't have as much to talk about, but I don't know. We've got some things percolating behind the scenes that we can't talk about right now. I'm hoping it's going to be ready to talk about, and I think you'll be excited. I know I am. Thank y'all very much for listening. Commander, thank you for your time. And
thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
Who are members, your camp leaders and camp members, God bless you. You are the SCV. It's not the GEC. It's not the people that wear the fancy ribbons around their neck. It's you, the members, and it's your heritage we're trying to preserve, and we will preserve it. We're not going to try. We shall preserve it. Thank you very much. With that, we can sign off, Moose.